Hello, this is Mr. Lowry, and today's objective, we're going to be talking about summary. So I wanted to review just what it means when we're showing the summary of a story. A couple weeks ago, we watched the video of Pip, the dog, and then after showing the video, I did a sequence of events chart where I showed just remember the sequence of events is the most important events in the plot of a story. But when you put this together, this is basically the summary, which is what we'll be talking about today. If you're given the summary of a story, you're just telling the most important parts, or just telling in a few sentences what the story is all about. So again, we will retell or paraphrase text in ways that maintain meaning and logical order. 3.7D. And then I'm going to put the video Piper in there. This is what I'm going to go over in class, so it's not really necessary that I play the video or talk about it now because we're going to do that in class. Once I play the video Piper, I'm going to put, you should be used to this last year. You did this in second grade when you were giving the summary of a story or book. You just said what happened at the beginning, and the middle, and the end. Just make sure that when it's a story, you also have to include the problem and solution. So here's a short text that's titled New York City. It says, have you ever been to New York City? It is the largest city in America. In New York City, you can visit the Empire State Building, which is 102 stories tall. You can also visit the Statue of Liberty, which is more than 300 feet tall. People come from all over the world to see it. Another place in New York City is Central Park. It is a big park with many lakes. People like to play, ride bikes, picnic, and rest in this park. New York City has something for everyone. So the first question to ask yourself when you're doing a summary is this text fiction or nonfiction? How can you tell? You should be able to say, since it does not have any characters in it and no problem or solution, it's just giving you facts about New York City, that this is nonfiction. So when I'm finding the summary, I need to find the main idea and some supporting details. The main idea in this text is New York City is the largest city in America. That's a fact about New York City. I would put that there for my main idea. My supporting details would be you can visit the Empire State Building. You can visit the Statue of Liberty. And just to put another color, you can also, another place to visit is in New York City is Central Park. So again, if I was going to do a good summary, I could say the largest city, it should say in America, New York City, has many attractions, including the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, and Central Park. So here in just one sentence, I include what's the most important major details in this passage or paragraph. Remember that when you had the summary question on the STAR test, it looks like this. And they ask you what is the best summary of the story or passage or text. Usually you want to pick you don't want to pick the one that's the smallest. You're going to be picking one that has 3 sentences. And if it's a story, you're going to pick the one that has the beginning, middle, and end. And most importantly, the most important events of a plot are the problem and solution. So this one is titled A Great Chef. It says, Bella loved to cook. She always watched her parents cook. One day Bella told her father, I want to be a great chef. Her father said, That's a fabulous idea. It will take a lot of hard work, though. he said she would have to practice a lot. After that, Bella cooked every day. After school, she chopped and diced vegetables. She became very good at cutting them all the same size. Bella's family tried her creations and told her which meals tasted best. Her family said, "Your food is delicious. You will be a great chef." Today, Bella owns Bella's Place. It's the best restaurant in town. So here, ask yourself when you're looking for the summary, who's the main character? What does she want to do? We don't really have a problem and solution here. We have what Bella wants to do, and then what she does. Bella wants to be a great chef. She practices a lot, and she becomes the owner of her own restaurant. Remember, the plot of a story is the main character's problem and how they solve it for third grade. But just remember, plot are the most important events of a story. So again, if I'm going to do the story map, again, the beginning, Bella wanted to be a chef. The middle, Bella practiced a lot. And the end, Bella became a really good chef, basically. Again, I'll do this part in class. I'll also have this video so you can watch it in the Google Classroom, but the story that we're going over this week is called Little House on the Prairie. This was actually a TV show that my parents watched when I was a kid. I found it to be very boring. It is a historical fiction. Again, we talked about historical fiction the last 2 weeks, at least before we were out for the break. Just remember, the historical fiction has a setting that is realistic or historical. The characters, however, are usually fictional. And it says here, fictional plot that weaves together historical and fictional events. Maybe the characters may be fictional or real people involved in the events of the time period. And also, we're going to be going over theme again. The theme or central message is made clear through events that happen during a particular time period. This time period, if you couldn't tell, is going to be many years ago. They're riding in a horse and buggy because they didn't have cars back then. Prairie is just a long, flat field full of grass. Basically, there's a lot of prairies here where we live. We don't live in the mountains. We don't live around a great big forest, but we do live near prairies. You can think about like where the grass is out at the playground when we go outside. That's a prairie. Laura Ingalls Wilder is the author. She wrote these stories and published them in 1932. She is writing about her family moved from place to place when she was a young girl. Her younger sister Grace, an important character in By the Shores of Silver Lake, was born in 1877 in Burr Oak, Iowa. However, the family soon returned to Wisconsin that same year after an unsuccessful try at running a hotel. Mr. Lowry was born in 1977, so that was actually, I was born 100 years after this lady started writing these books, or when this happened. When this lady, she wrote the stories when she grew up, but really she's this little girl here. And then again, there's a good picture of the horse and buggy, or wagon, they would say, a wagon that was pulled by horses. I'm afraid I'm not going to have time to make one video, so I'm going to make two. But I'll go over the vocabulary first. We have ly is a suffix that means you're doing something in a way. So if you do something horribly, you do it in a very bad way. Like if I said I did horribly on my test, it means I did really badly, or I did not do well. So horrible is an adjective to say like I had a horrible day. You're describing your day. But horribly is more of it's an adverb which tells you how you did something. I could say my day went horribly because it was a horrible day. The base word is horrible. The next one is furious, which just means really angry. This suffix "us" actually means full of. This kid is furious. If you're really furious on the movies and cartoons, they show smoke coming out of your ears because your head is on fire, really hot. It doesn't really happen in real life, but it's a funny expression of someone being very furious or mad. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and pause and stop this video, so I'll make sure I'll have enough time to read this. Since you do not have these reading books, you're going to have to rely on listening to me to read about the story. So check out the next video. This is video 1. Check out video 2.